Thanks for staying with us. So one would have observed that in the last couple of days, it appears there have been some scarcity of PMS. Many filling stations are not dispensing fuel, while many are not running optimally. Queues are being observed in most parts of the city. We have with us Yusuf Lawa Uthman. He's the National President, Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, NARTO. He's speaking to us from our Abuja studio on the reasons why some of these anomalies still persist despite full deregulation of the downstream sector. Welcome to the show, sir. Good to have you, Mr. Uthman.
Thank you. Good morning.
So we've observed in the last few days, there's been some kind of queues in the filling stations. Could you give us an idea why this has happened?
Well, I want to believe that it's not unconnected with the high cost of diesel in the country. Although I'm not competent to speak about fuel scarcity as far as Nigeria is concerned, but I can speak about the distribution which our members do for the country. In the last few weeks, there has been a scarcity of diesel, and by that scarcity, the high cost. Today, diesel is about $9.50 at stations around Lagos, and probably $9.60, $9.70 around Maiduguri, you'll have about 1,000 liters. So the transporters that distribute this petroleum product across the country are, having a hard time because of the operational cost. And to cap it all, the government just recently introduced 7.5% VAT on diesel. So this is one of the reasons why diesel has gone up. And of course, we are transporters and we're business people. And this business is done with a view to make profit. So if you deploy a truck to do the runs that you normally do as it is today, you will not be able to make anything. So you don't have any option than to take a position and wait. So probably this is the reason why you don't have adequate number of trucks to distribute the petroleum product across the country.
So last week, I stumbled on a Guardian analysis, and they said that about 318 billion losses are made monthly from, this petrol, this PMS, and that because of the rising cost of the dollar, which is about 9.20 right now, the landing cost of the PMS has actually gone up to 728 per liter, but we're still buying at 500 and something. Could you confirm to me exactly the landing cost right now? And is there a form of subsidy still going on somehow? Can that be confirmed?
Well, again, I'm not competent to talk about landing cost because it's the purview of the government officials. But I can confirm to you, yes, due to the high cost and scarcity of dollar, the pump price should have gone up, but because government has a reason for doing what it's doing, the pump price remains the way it is. If you look at other parameters, you will of course believe that the pump price, the way it is not reflective of the parameters that normally jack it up.
Us, Mr. Uthman, had a question?
Yes.
Toby?
Yes. How are road transport owners faring now, especially now that we know that there's an increase in the cost of PMS? And how have you been able to fairly price the cost of transportation? Because this affects the everyday Nigerian, and we see that a lot of people are complaining. So how have you been able to fairly price that with regards to the people and considering the current realities that Nigerians are going through now?
Well, thank you so much. I must confess to you, we are facing very hard time now. Prior to the full deregulation, we were optimizing our trucks, and average truck turnaround, bridging that is from Lagos to Abuja, Port Harcourt, or Calabar to Abuja, is a truck usually does about 2-3 trips in a month. because the demand is high. We're talking that time about 100 million or per day. Today, we are talking about 35 to 40 million. So a truck hardly does a trip per month.
Wow.
And, we have so many trucks. So many of our members purchase trucks, we have so many trucks. So as we speak now, we are operating about 30% of our usual operation. So that has really affected us. But sincerely speaking, we know that reality is gradually sinking in, setting in. And of course, the previous consumption was not reflective of the demand nationally. And even if it is, so many people that hitherto, have so many vehicles across the country, maybe in their household, probably will have to maybe fuel 1 or 2 vehicles because reality has set in. And so many people that ordinarily will go and fill up their tank, maybe 15,000, now will have to probably fill up at maybe 30 or 40,000. So it means that they will have to be disciplined in the usage of petroleum products. Oh, wow. So demand has reduced because the reality has set in. That is on that aspect. Similarly, on the respect of us, the transporters, we are not finding it very easy. As we speak today, the operational components of our activity, diesel, like I said earlier on, is about 950 naira per liter. So if you consume 1,000 liter for bridging, you are going to pay about 950,000 naira. When you add other operational costs, it will cost you about 1 million naira to operate a single truck to do bridging. And when you come, you are expected to recoup what you have already invested in terms of fueling and other operational costs from the payment that you will get. But that is now not possible because the pump price that you would have expected to take care of your increased operational cost is pegged. The government, for whatever reason, which is within the purview, of course, keeps the pump PMS price the way it is. So what we expected is just like in full regulation, in AGO, in DPK, if there is additional cost in terms of purchase cost, it is expected that that cost should be pushed to the consumer. But as we speak, that cost now cannot be pushed to the consumer because there is a ceiling in terms of the PMS pump price. Of course, in other products, diesel, ATK, and DPK, such can be, added up. But sincerely speaking, the major component that we transport and we consume is PMS. So if such is pegged, as we speak, we are more or less operating at a loss because the marketers cannot afford to pay any additional transport fare from nowhere.
Yes.
So these are some of the problems we have. In addition, we pay 5% withholding tax on everything that we are paid. And not taking into cognizance that even if, for example, Lagos to Abuja, you pay 1.4 million for a transporter, and such a transporter probably expends 1.2 million, he has a net of 200,000. But the tax will be on the total gross, which is 1.4 million. So these are some of the problems we face. And we have spoken to the authorities concerned to look at it. And this is some of the reason why you see so many people are not even willing to go and put their trucks on the tank farm to move around. Yes, because they don't really have any gain. And also what is not helping us, there are so many marketers and transporters who hitherto have outstanding payments with Nigerian midstream, downstream petroleum regulatory agency, still with them. Now, more than 100 days after the regulation, they've not been paid and no plan on ground to pay all those debts. So many of these issues are now culminating to where we are today. And the fact of the matter is that this fuel is distributed in Nigeria 100% by trucks. And these truck owners are sick by virtue of what they experience. So if we have called now the attention of the authorities, and we expect that because the government is a listening government, they will address these issues and avoid any unforeseen circumstance.
Thank you for, just clarifying it. We see, a lot of us, when these policies happen, it's usually the consumers, we scream and cry. We also forget that on your own side too, these are people's livelihoods and it's affected seriously. But, the government has been talking about lots of palliatives across board. Is there any sort of palliative you think that can help, your industry right now and also will reflect positively on the demand for your services?
Yeah, what we expect and we want the government to do as we speak right away is to ensure that the Ministry and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency pays marketers, truck transporters, their outstanding bridging allowance. 1. 2, government should immediately remove the 7.5% VAT on diesel, because they just put the VAT on diesel, and that 7.5% VAT has added about 40 to 50 naira on the pricing. Now, government can decide for whatever reason to tax people to meet its own commitment. However, if that tax is not translated or transferred to the consumer, is hanging somewhere to the person that is giving you service, then there are issues. Just like I said, the pump price of AGO probably at 950 could probably be come down to maybe 900 or at something. But now that you add it up to 950, and we cannot add it to our transportation. I mean, the marketers cannot add it to transportation because the PMS, as we speak, has a ceiling. Then there's a problem. So somebody somewhere has to take care of that. So what immediate solution for now, pending other clarification, is to ensure that that added weight of 7.5% BAT on the diesel should go, maybe temporarily or I don't know, pending the time we have some stability in the system. Because right now we are suffering, and gradually people will continue to park. Before you know, you'll not have anybody to give you the service. And we don't want to park. But whenever we park, every transporter that parks for a second loses money.
Yes.
Because we have other commitment. So many people have finances from other areas. So anything that affects us, we're not like unions and whatever, so go on strike or whatever. We're business people, we're investors. And we believe governments listen. So part of the palliative, we want the government to give us, to influence, to go and have a look again at that 7.5% BAT.
So
that's one. 2, also to look at the outstanding payments with the Ministry and Downstream Agency. What it can do to reduce, to send the money outstanding to the marketers who will eventually pay the transporters.
Who are you engaging in federal government? Who are you talking to, and how far discussions have been ongoing?
Well, we've just written to the Honorable Minister of Petroleum Resources. Of course, we don't want to bother him because he's just trying to settle in. And it's not an issue that will create any wahala, but it's just to alert him. This is the looming danger. We want him to come in and ensure that issues are resolved before they get worse.
Thank you so much.
Because in any case, we have adequate fuel across the country that is not being utilized. So it is not an immediate danger. But if I'm doing business and I don't have any gain, I'm not compelled to continue to do it. And nobody else will do it apart from me.
Okay.
For now.
Okay, so are there kind of conversations ongoing between your association and the NURTW? Because I am aware that you both are stakeholders in this, and it would help in driving home the conversation of your demands to the government.
NURTW is an association, a union of drivers. Okay. I'm talking about Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency. So many marketers, truck transporters have outstanding payments lying with them for bridging that was done during the bridging regime. Now, 100 days after the full deregulation, these monies are still outstanding. They are paying some small, but does not reflect what is being owed.
Thank you so much, sir. I think I can let you go at this time, but it's good to just get your perspective, and I'm happy that you've started engaging government on this. This is going to affect a lot of Nigerians, especially the fact that they can't get fuel to the filling stations. But I hope that in the next few days, you're able to get this resolved. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us this morning.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Coming to you guys, I mean, I don't know, you tried to get fuel, right? There was delay. Which station, which area was this?
Alongside going to Beggar.
It's amazing how these things affect everybody. We forget that these are everybody's.
It's a chain.
Yes.
So if one part of that chain is not being serviced properly, it would affect us.
Everybody.
In the end, it's still the customer that will bear the brunt. Either we don't get the service, or when we get it, it's too expensive, you know, things like that.
Prices are not even the same. So you have $585, you have $590, you have $575.
The north is totally different.
Yes,
No,
totally. Even in Ibadan.
Has always been.
Even
All
Ibadan is
through
really
very different.
Sunday, that was when I noticed the, scarcity. There were a lot of, because we went to the mainland on our way back, we were just thinking we'll just park and, fill up. And we started driving from one filling station to the other. Everything was locked. We were lucky to find one around Lekki that we now finally got fuel. But I hear that a lot of people are still not able to get fuel till now.
Pay them their money now.
We have to wrap up, but I must also take this opportunity to remember the young man, 27-year-old young man that recently died. He's an artist. That's the Mobad. Many of you already know him. It was really, really painful that he passed away yesterday. Very young. He is a very popular artist, and his family has sent a message saying that they would like to get some privacy at this time. According to them, they said that, trying to read the exact quote from his family members on what they said that it is with great sadness that we confirm the passing of Promise Oladimeji Aloba, PKA Mobad. Mobad was in light until the very end, and as we mourn the loss of this brightness, he carried. The family thanks you for their love and prayers and asks that you continue to respect their privacy during this difficult time. There are pictures of him, maybe he was ill at some point, he was going through some mental issues, but we are praying that the family are able to withhold this period. It's really, really painful for a young, promising guy, 27 career, to pass on at this such an early age. Our hearts go out to the family, and may his soul rest in peace.
Amen.
Amen.
That's all we can take on today's show. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.